Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's video, doing JMA Friday for today's video. So as also on a Friday, we have a look at the weather for the month ahead with Japanese and CFS V2R. It's going to take us into the first week of October, and I shall get on with it for you very shortly. Just say about the first video release, it was our 7 AM upload. We also released the ECMWF 42 day forecast as well. By the way, next 6 weeks look ahead with the ECM. I've got a 10 to 14 day with all of the regular features coming up for you later on this afternoon. We'll be live streaming after 10 o'clock tonight, so going to be a bit of fun on a Friday night for you. But let's go on with JMA Friday, shall we? So we're going to begin by having a look at the 500 millibar height anomaly forecast for week 1, the coming week, from the JMA, from the North Pole and Arctic view down. So there's the North Pole, just there, the wider Arctic circle around there. Then we've got mid-latitudes around here. So blue is extrapolating to below average heights, which is low pressure, and yellow, orange, and red extrapolate to above average heights, which is high pressure. These are broken down into week periods. The first week period is going to take us from the 10th through to 17th of September. The coming week has above average heights sitting over and to the north of the country, with below average heights to our south. If this was winter, this would be a very, very interesting chart, but it isn't. What we are going to get, though, is this trough of low pressure bringing some wet weather to southern parts of the country in particular, but still with high pressure to the north, feeding in the wind from like an east-southeast direction. It should be reasonably warm. I think it might be a little bit more unsettled, though, than that indicates. Then we go through to week 2, and still that area of above average heights. The high pressure is maintained between Iceland and Scandinavia. The below average heights, low pressure, sort of easing away to south. So if anything, that's probably a more settled week. Mainly dry, and easterly winds coming around the high pressure should keep things mostly fine, you would have thought. And again, I would imagine pretty warm, although transitional season, so as we go further on, of course, the easterlies get less and less warm as we go through this through the autumn. But I think that's probably still bringing in pretty warm air. That's the 17th to the 24th of September. And then weeks 3 and 4, which is the 24th of September to the 8th of October, look like that. The area of above average heights is still there. I might be able to get my highlighted. There we go. The area of above average heights is still there over Scandinavia, but is weakening. High pressure in the middle of the Atlantic as well. So we might be starting to bring in a little bit more influence from the Atlantic there, just weakening off that blocking area of high pressure to the northeast, and maybe starting to bring some sort of lower pressure in off the Atlantic, although it does not really show low pressure. Just would be my interpretation that with the heights rising in the middle of the Atlantic, we probably start to push a jet stream a bit further southwards, and that's probably the reason that the blocking area of high pressure to the northeast there is weakening. Bear in mind that is a 2-weekly anomaly, so it could be transitional. You could still, for example, get a lot of high pressure in week 3, I should say, and then week 4, you know, sees a bit of a change. Something like that could be going on. Right, let's have a look at tropical and mid-latitude view then. So, of course, can't see the Arctic, Greenland, Scandinavia, Iceland, all those areas off a chart up here, but have a look at that view down so we know what's going on. Reminder of the week 1 500 millibar height on it. You can eye in the top right hand corner chart as you're looking at it, by the way. Reminder of the week 1 500 millibar height on it, just with lots of high pressure really over to the north of the country. Around the high pressure, we bring in the winds from like an easterly direction. So a temperature anomaly for week 1, which is, of course, this week, 10th to the 18th of September. Warm and average, above average temperature coming up by 1 to 2 degrees, so another warm week on the way. And precipitation-wise, actually it's dry and average, especially so to our north. I do think that's going to be a little bit more unsettled, though, than that's showing. But there you go. That's what it's showing today, anyway. So just a snapshot. And I reckon there'll be a little bit more rain around in the coming week than that indicates. But it is sort of average to drier than average, more particularly so to our northwest. And then we go through to week 2, which is going to be the 17th to the 24th of September, still with that blocking area of high pressure to our north, still around that. We bring in the winds from the east. So it's another warmer than average week as well. Temperatures are, again, in the yellow shading, which is 1 to 2 degrees above average. Pretty warm for that week too. Precipitation-wise, we're coming out sort of drier than average. I don't know what's up with my highlighter today. It's very annoying. So we're coming out sort of drier than average in this week as well. So yeah, you know, it's another anticyclonic high-pressure dominated week. Then go through to weeks 3 and 4. Signs of a change. The high pressure pulls out into the middle of the Atlantic, and possibly we start getting a little bit more influence from the jet stream. It's still warm on average though, so this is a very, very warm 4 weeks coming up. If the JMA is right today, above average temperatures all the way really by 1 to 2 degrees, solidly warmer than normal. And it's still really on the dry and average side, although it is going a little bit slightly wetter, little bit wetter just to our west. But basically, it's high pressure dominated, you know, this, and warm and dry for the next 4 weeks. So very much in line, you know, with what the ECM 42 data is showing. You haven't seen that yet. I'm sorry if I'm giving a spoiler, but it is sort of indicating lots of warm, dry weather carrying well on into October, so the JMA is there as well with that idea. Let's see what the CFS is showing. So these are 500 millibar heights, break it down into weekly periods. The first week period takes us from the 10th to the 16th of September. The coming week, again, with some higher pressure to the north of Scotland, some lower pressure in the North Atlantic and to the west of Portugal. So it's a messy old pattern, but I think that's a little bit more unsettled for weekend, probably compared to what the JMA was showing. Week 2 will be the 17th to 23rd of September. The low pressure gets pushed out towards the south of Greenland into North Atlantic, higher pressure across Scandinavia. You'll think that's going to be quite a warm week again. That's going to pull wind back into the south to southeast and should bring quite a lot of dry weather as well. So that looks like another relatively warm and dry week if CFS is correct with that. High pressure running control for week 3 too. So this is 24th to 30th of September. What a remarkable September this will be, one of the warmest and driest on record, I think, if this comes off, with, again, big blocking area of high pressure to our northeast, and winds with that will be coming in from an easterly direction. And then we go through to week 4, which is going to be the 1st to the 7th of October. High pressure is still in control, but the difference is in the position, just sort of shifting a little bit to our west-northwest, which will start to allow some colder air to begin to move in from the northeast. So it's still mainly dry there, but probably turning a little bit colder by the start of October, with temperatures finally starting to show some sort of autumnal flavour to them. Week 1 temperature not from the 10th to the 16th of September is actually variable, so it's going for like a mix of warmer and cooler than average temperatures. Rather strange anomaly. I would suspect, you know, probably be relatively warm week coming up though. Week 2 is also the 17th to 23rd of September with near normal temperatures, although just to our east it is actually a bit colder than average. So not as warm with the CFS for weeks 1 and 2 as the JMA was showing. Week 3 is warmer than average. This is 24th to 30th of September, above average temperatures then. And then week 4 goes colder than average. This is the first week of October, 1st to the 7th of October, colder than average. And look how cold it's turning across many parts of Europe as well. So after this really warm September, we suddenly flip into a much colder pattern, not just the UK, but through many parts of Europe, actually, in the first week of October. That's 4 weeks away, though, so it is, you know, really unreliable. And then, precipitation-wise, lastly, so this is week 1 with the CFS. This is the 10th to 16th of September. Overall, driving average to our northwest, near normal, further south. Week 2 is the 17th to the 23rd of September, near normal, but a bit wetter than average away to the northwest. Week 3 is drier than average, especially to our northwest once again. And then week 4 is substantially drier than average. First week of October, really dry. This is the 1st to the 7th of October. Normally by week 4, we lose a signal as well, so that is an extraordinarily strong signal to be exceptionally dry in the first week of October. The only thing with that is that it is also quite cold. So night frost risk potentially there I would have thought by the first week of October, maybe the first frosts of the autumn. Right, so that's it for JMA Friday for this week. So I think it's pretty much all in line with what the ECM Extended was showing as well. So they're all indicating lots of warm weather to continue through September. Not as hot as it has been, but still, you know, warmer than average generally. There's no sign of anything particularly cold coming up during September. And relatively dry. We do have a bit of discrepancy with precipitation, so I think the CFS is a little bit more unsettled compared to the JMA, which is going for like a really dry September as well. By the time you get through to early October, we might start to see something colder. Still of high pressure though, you'll notice along amongst a lot of this output for early October. The only sort of question is where the high pressure is sitting, but it looks like, you know, relatively dry anticyclonic weather probably continues into October too, which of course is all good news for GavsWeatherVids autumn forecast, isn't it? Right, so that's it for JMA Friday for this week. Remember, just a snapshot what the models are showing, so any forecast beyond 5-7 days comes with health warnings and, you know, large pictures of salt, so just a snapshot, and it could all look very different next week. We will be back shortly with the 10 to 14 day. It's going to include all the regular features, so come back for that then. But for JMA Friday for this week, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.